I'm talking about shoes. So how are roads generally made? They're formed with asphalt, concrete. You can also see them made sometimes out of rubber, which I'll get to in the future in this project. Also, earthwork is needed. It needs to uphold the roots. It needs to uphold the trees. It needs to uphold anything in its path to make the road. So what are the costs? Well, as you can see in rural areas, it's going to be significantly lower to about $3 to $4 million lower usually. And in urban areas, the cost will jump to about 3 to 5 million. And say this is per mile, I really want to emphasize that out because that is what I'm going to be going by with my new innovative idea. Innovative. 4-lane highways, you see $4 to $6 million. Suburban, your urban areas, 5 to 10, and then we get to the 6 lanes, 7 to 10 for rural, and 11 or up for urban. What is the plan of action? Well, my plan of action is to not only bring an innovative idea, but to also bring to the minds of people, to open up their mind, education, help the world, create new organizations. So I did the math. They already make rubberized roads, but not out of shoes. They make them out of an asphalt. But I was saying to myself, what if we take old worn down shoes like these and make this into a road? No matter the color of sole, they're mainly made of the same thing. So what I want to say to this is, we take about 50% of the costs totally free from old worn out shoes. And we say, okay, so the price will be about $14 million. Well, hold up. That's without taking off the 50%. So it's about $14 million per mile. We take off the 50% of shoes because 50% of the costs were made from the shoes. And that'll come down to about $7 million, at about $2 million in labor costs, utilities, anything else that we've needed to create a mile of road. Or we say this, option B, instead of right off the bat creating a non-profit organization, create something like a percent tax or a state tax at the end, just up it about 3%, maybe 2%, considering on what country is what, or what state is what, because this could not be a worldwide tax. This would have to be a state, country, local tax. So how would this help? This would create new job opportunities. This would help deplete shanty towns, favelas. I did not say that right, but let me slide on that. This would help decrease poverty in Rio de Janeiro, unemployment in Rio de Janeiro. This would also help places like Japan, in places like New York City, and places like, let's say, Brazil. This would help take out brownfield sites and make them greenfield sites with roads and new factories that could be built there. This would help with environmental aid, and this would help with environmental awareness, and this would help with bringing knowledge to recycling, because not a lot of places recycle, and if we start these huge plants of recycling, people would be like, man, now we can make roads out of plastic bags, man, we can make them out of bottles. This could be a whole new innovative idea, not just from shoes. And saying that this could help, by the time, I would say, after this is in place for a while, that 100% of the cost could come from shoes, and the only cost we would have to do is land area costs for how much land we use, and labor and utility costs. And that could be significantly lower than having to pay for the asphalt, because you cannot donate asphalt. Asphalt is not donatable unless it's not donatable. So if we take old worn down shoes and create organizations out of it, this could help our world a lot. And this could also help less overcrowding, because people would get out of the shanty towns and would move to the rural areas because they have more money. How would this hurt? Well, more of an urban island is present in the city because, unlike asphalt, rubber tends to heat up quicker on a hot day. This could hurt a city with an urban island. Costs are higher in the beginning, because there is not as much of a donation with shoes, and it's very local. It started small, gets bigger. Countries may not invest because it's not important. So there's places like Africa with AIDS epidemics. There's places like Puerto Rico that are trying to get off of an earthquake, so they may not be as important. Language barriers could decrease, and materials may not be available in other countries. Well, with this said, I still think my idea is very innovative, and by the time we could put this into action, places could have more healthcare, insurance, and it would be a less economic, more debt relief for the country. Thank you for listening. That is my project.